Hello and welcome to FX Addicts End of the Week Market Update. Today is Friday, December 7th, 2012, and we had a little bit of action this week for a change. So the euro today down about 40 pips right now, back down under 130 to 129.30 area, and we actually dipped even below 129, and we have since recovered a little bit on the day. So technically we've kind of broken down below this minor trend line that we had. We've also hit this upper area now 3 times, and we have failed. So the next move now will be to take out these lows down here, just under the 127 level. So once we break that level, then there's really nothing stopping us until we get down to the 120s, just below 121. So there really isn't anything good here technically that we can see at this point. The little bit of momentum that we had going is now gone. If we look on the weeklies, we can see we have quite a few tails now to the upside here, and we also have a failure on this side of the upswing that we most recently had. So next week, if we continue lower, really wouldn't take much to take out these lows down below 127. And on the monthlies, well, looks like now we still got a little ways to go, but if we close out the month of December below last month's lows, that would be very bearish. So any type of rally here would have to be extremely strong and would have to close out the month well above 133, and really as days go on here, it's looking less and less like that's going to happen. British pound also down a little bit today, down about 16 pips. We were down about 40-50 pips earlier and have since recovered. Also below a minor trend line here that we've been bouncing off of and moving up on for the last several weeks. And today now this action really not positive at all. The fact that we couldn't rally back above the highs, today's highs, and close above that trend line is really negative. If we look at the weeklies here, also for the week we're still barely positive, but really not in a great situation at all, because we had this sell-off for many weeks, and then we popped up here for a week and a half. And that's about it. It's really having a lot of difficulties rallying here, a lot of bearish sentiment out there. And on the monthlies, we can see how we're just starting to really just leak down lower and lower. We get down this time to this trend line, more than likely we're going to break below it and start selling off a little more. Really have targets down around 130, 125 area. US dollar against the Swiss franc, a very nice move up here the last couple of days and for the week. We're up about 18 pips right now, back up above 93. We were up quite a bit higher earlier, almost at 94, and we've since fallen back. But overall, still looks fairly good. We came down to this this lower area here. Now this is the 3rd time, maybe even calling it a little head and shoulders bottom. But overall, looks very positive, short term and as we get into the long term, because as we get further and further out here in this consolidation period, it's just like this one back here, we definitely have the potential for a run up. And on the monthlies also looking very good. We had that spike low, which should stay for a very long time. We rallied up, fell back just slightly, rallied up again. Now we've fallen back again. So the next move should take us up above these trend lines that we have drawn in here. And this first one goes back about 10 years. The other one goes back about 30 years. So we could really have a substantial rally here, longer term, that would take us to a new, much longer upward move for many years to come. US dollar against Japanese yen, down about 6 pips. We were up quite strongly earlier in the session and have since given back quite a bit since the U.S. economic reports today. They were fairly decent except for the University of Michigan consumer sentiment, which was kind of a surprise downward move there. But overall, that could be sentiment low for the Hurricane Sandy debacle there at the beginning of November. So we'll have to wait to see how the revisions come out in 2 weeks. But overall, technically, we're starting to look toppy here because we got all these tails going up to the upper side here. So it's very possible we could sell off from here. Maybe get down to around the 81 area or just below, and then start to rally again. Now on the weeklies, well, we're consolidating here for the last couple of weeks, and stochastics are starting to come back together. So there's a possibility that next week we could pop up a little bit. Monthly wise, well, monthly looked very strong. We had this nice spike up back here. We fell back, consolidated back into the lower end of the zone here, and now last week we popped up, and this week, well, we're just kind of hanging there. So how we depend, it really depends on how we finish out the month. So if we can finish out the month above the most recent highs, which would be back here around 84, that would be very, very strong and very, very bullish longer term. Euro Swiss giving back a little bit today and pretty much for most of the week. We're right now down about 14 pips, down to around 120.80 area, 120.75. Looks like we may come back a little bit more and then probably rally up again. Now on the weeklies we really can't see it, but we are still positive for the week, and we are off of the highs, so that's not exactly great, but it's not bad either. Longer term, still looking for that market to rally up to about 124. Euro Yen giving back now the last couple of days, still in this upward mobile pattern here, but it may be short-lived, as we've talked about. We're back down below 107, down about 43 pips today. Technically on the dailies, we still have a somewhat of an upward moving trend line here, but on the weeklies, really, we broke out above the longer term channel line here, and we have been above it now for 2 weeks, but we're not seeing the needed strength to really boost this market, a market that is for years has been in a downward trend, and quite a substantial downward trend at that. So looking at the monthlies, we can see this, how strong this has really been, and then the damage that was done back here. So now this week we're still above this minor trend line, but as you can see, the month is turning negative, and really depends on how we close out the month. If we end up closing out the month below last month's lows, that would be very, very bearish. So still 3 weeks to go in the month, holidays, thin trade, anything can happen. So wait to see what goes on here, but technically speaking, long term market has definitely got a downward bias to it. Short term, still trying to climb its way up, but really with a lot of hesitation in there. That is it for the week. If you have any questions or anything, I am available by email and Skype. If you have never visited FX Addicts, please do so. We have a lot to offer. We also have a live trading room, and I will go in there from time to time, and if I'm not in there, you can always Skype me or email me, and I can join you in there. So please feel free to stop by, and talk to you later. Thank you.